What is up, ball python people? Today we're at work and got a lot going on in the snake world for me. Thought you just might want to hear about it. Saw my thoughts on it. We unluckily have had our first mortality. That's death for all you people that know Obla. So I guess the best place to start is at the beginning. We bought this beautiful little genetic stripe female. She is a red stripe G-stripe female at a local to us exotic pet expo. Alright, she was doing fine. She was, probably 200 grams when I got her. She was, coming hard on a yearling. She had gained some weight and was doing good and looking pretty good. And I was really excited, wanted to make me my own double hats for some genetic striped clowns, things of that nature. We got her home, got her set up. She was perfect, doing great. Eating frozen thawed like it was all she'd ever known. Just a beautiful little snake, easy to deal with. She is a pleasure to handle. We handled her a lot. Did everything we could do for this little snake to, make sure it had a decent life. Had her set up, lots of good stuff in her enclosure, lots of things for enrichment. And she came down with a respiratory infection. Now, I have no idea why she, out of all these snakes that I have, decided to get a respiratory infection. Her husbandry was the same as all my other snakes. Alright, we kept her humidity up. We had her on cocoa husk up until the point that she got the first respiratory infection. And I said, oh man, we need to keep this cleaner. And it's easier for me to see that, oh man, there's urate on paper towels. Now the downside to paper towels being you have to mist daily. Well, that just ensures that you make sure you put eyes on that snake every single day. So it wasn't that big a deal. I actually decided from, that experience with her that I liked keeping on paper towels better because it ensured that I put eyes on my snakes every day. I don't mind misting every day. I don't have an ungodly number of snakes thus far. We had 17 until last night, trying to get to the point where we can breed, make a few baby snakes, and maybe sell a few on North Market, that kind of thing. I'd love to go do expos. But just, man, sometimes you can't do anything for it. There's nothing else that you can do outside of the realm of human possibilities. So we had this little girl, her name was Patsy. We had her to the vet. We had a blood test done for, I think it was rhinovirus. They tested for a bunch of other stuff. I can't remember everything they tested for off the top of my head. The blood test was, $300. Vet visit and a round of antibiotics, which was 7 shots, was, another $80 on top of that. Took her home, started giving her shots, her antibiotics, went through the whole course, and she bounced back. She was doing fine, doing perfect. I made the decision to keep her on the paper towels, because, hey, let's do what we can to keep it as clean as possible in here, keep all the bacteria out that we can. So, anytime there was a urate, changed fresh paper towels. Anytime there was a poop, changed fresh paper towels. So at this point, she decided that she wasn't going to eat frozen thawed anymore. So I get all my stuff from Rodent Pro. If y'all are doing that, any experience with that, a rat, she was on wings, about $2 a rat. Rats are, they're more nutritionally dense than a mouse. There's more protein, more fat, more water content in a rat than there is in a mouse. So we try to keep all our stuff on rats. But she decided she wasn't going to take frozen thawed anymore. Now, the only source of live rodents that I have is about an 15 minutes away from the house. And they keep rats, but they're generally, huge retired breeder rats that you'd feed to something like a boa or a retic, jumbo size. And the only thing else they had that they kept was mice. So, what do? We had her on mice. So, that was once a week a trip out to town to pay $6 a piece for a mouse. So that's $12 a feed, right, every week. Every 7 days we made the trip to pick up her feeders, $12. She was doing fine, eating every week. Had, we kept the same check on her that we'd been keeping on her while she had the respiratory infection. Kept her clean, kept her misted, and she came down with another respiratory infection. So I don't know if it was something genetically wrong with the snake, if she had some type of a disease that made her more susceptible to respiratory infections. I don't know. So if anybody has any ideas on this, please let me know, because I really don't need this to be happening again. So she came down with another respiratory infection, did everything we could do for her, antibiotics, vet, all that good stuff, and she never got over it. And we went to check last night. I check on all the snakes right before I go to bed usually, and happened that my old lady was in the bedroom where we was keeping her because she was, sickly, and it kept her away from my racks. Because we don't need any of that traveling around my collection. But that being said, none of my other snakes have had any type of problem. I've never heard so much as a sneeze out of any of the rest of them. Outside the occasional piece of substrate stuck in their nose, just and you never hear anything else. So, what do you do? What are you going to do? You just can't win in some of these situations. And yes, it sucks. Yes, I'm upset that my snake died. But what are you going to do? At a certain point, you have to look at it and go, well, damn, I did everything that I could do. I did everything I could do to ensure that this snake's husbandry was on point. That her humidity was kept up where it needed to be. Her heat was where it needed to be. She had, the 90-degree hot spot, the temperature gradient. The same thing I've always done with the rest of my other snakes. And she just continued to deteriorate. So, I guess the point of this story is that there's going to be ups and downs in any breeding operation, and we're not even to the point of breeding. So if you're going to be a pet keeper, there are going to be ups and downs. There are going to be losses. And in some cases, there's just absolutely nothing that you can do about it. We did everything that, we could do for this little girl, and she still just wasted away. She stopped eating when she got her RI back. It's upsetting. And, she wasn't an expensive snake, but that's not the point, man. I think she had the price of $175 on her, and he offered me a deal on another snake I was looking at, and I said, well, why give me the same deal on this girl right here? And he did, so I got her for like $150. But, with the cost of feeders, for the cost of vet trips, the cost of blood work, not counting the gas it took to go just get this one snake, her feeders every week, trips to the exotic animal vet, which is really far away from me. That's a couple of hour drive, 4-hour round trip. She's just gone, man. Sometimes there's nothing you can do. They just must something be internally wrong with them. They're genetically predisposed to it. I don't know. So if anybody has any ideas what may have been this issue, if you've been through this before, let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. If there's anything I can do better, if y'all want to, I have a couple of videos up of her There's one doing a live feeding with her where I'm talking about, while she's doing this, you know, the treatment that we'd been going through with her. That was her first respiratory infection that she had gotten over. So I really just don't understand. I'll probably never understand. And I wish it hadn't happened, but it did. So, like I said, if anybody has any thoughts on this, I would love to hear it. Sorry for the twirling view behind me. I wanted to do this at home. I've got 5 kids. There's never a quiet moment at home to try to do something like this. And I thought, well, I can dig dirt with my excavator and make a video at the same time. So sorry there's no snakes in it. It's just me going round and round with the sky in the background. But if you've done everything that you can do, yeah, you can still feel bad for the snake. You can still be upset that the snake died. But what else can you do? Things like this just happen sometimes, I suppose. So, y'all let me know what you think. I'm going to try to get some snake videos up in the next week or 2. We've got several new snakes that y'all haven't seen yet. You know, I've been trying to deal with this. So, I appreciate it. Y'all come back and see me.